Welcome to Guild Wars 2 Goldlocked, a challenge series where we are exploring the world of Tyria one zone at a time. But in each zone, we have to earn a total of 50 gold before moving on to the next. With last week's adventures in the Blood-Tide Coast, we are now heading further south into Sparkfly Fen, a pretty popular zone for a very specific reason, but also a zone that features a ton of different things, and I want to see how we can make gold from any of them. Sparkfly Fen is a map that I think is a bit less popular for people to complete 100%. I personally enjoy the zone quite a bit, but I know that a couple of the tasks in this area are some of the least popular tasks in the entire game, especially the help Costiato and his tribe hunt for termite larvae task in Orvar's Glen that a lot of people struggle with, especially since it can be bugged a bit sometimes. But Sparkfly Fen in particular is a very detailed zone with so many interesting things going on and beautiful sights to take in, which makes it one of my favorite zones to explore through in Guild Wars 2. And exploring through it again is an enjoyable experience, but it also just has a good opportunity to get the basic ideas for gold making in this map down that we can return to more in depth in the future. As I do that, and during this part of each video thus far, I have been highlighting different aspects of making gold, or just gold in general on a higher level. And hopefully some people have learned some things, but I have one final section that I wanted to go over, and it's basically a rapid fire of a bunch of smaller bits of information related to gold in Guild Wars 2 that some people may find helpful and or interesting. Most players understand that 100 copper is equal to 1 silver, and 100 silver is equal to 1 gold. So if you're trying to get 1 total gold, you need 10,000 copper, and this naturally happens in your wallet as you earn coin. But in certain parts of the game, such as when we did the Gold Hoarder achievement earlier in the series, the amount of gold you need is stated via coins in the form of copper. So for Gold Hoarder, to get golden, you need to get 2 million coins saved in your wallet at one time, which sounds like a lot of coin, but in reality that is just 200 gold. There is in fact a limit for how much gold you can have in the game. For most players, you will never reach this limit, and it is only ever an issue for people who primarily play Guild Wars 2 to make gold, particularly off of the trading post, but that limit is 200,000 gold. Once you reach that limit, you can't get any more in your wallet, so any gold that is saved in the trading post will be stuck there until you empty your wallet enough to pick it up, and any coin that you would normally get from killing a mob or other similar sources will simply be lost. There's also a bug that some people have reported that when you are at the gold cap and you try to take money out of the trading post, that money is just straight up lost. Similar to a gold limit, you can only withdraw a total of 500 gold from a particular source in a week, meaning if you are trying to get gold out of a guild bank or your mail, you can only get 500 gold and will have to wait multiple weeks to get all of that gold. For us, I am simply sending the gold I make in the series to my main account so I can use it there, so I will occasionally send over 500 gold, but have not done so yet. I'll also mention that you can only save a total of 1000 gold in a guild bank. But as I have explored through Sparkfly Fen, I have slowly worked my way to 100% map completion and can return to your trading post. I'll quickly shout out the Astro Zentli Forelands as being a really cool location that feels kind of like a Hylix city that even features crafting trainers, which also allow you to access your bank and material storage, but no trading post here for us, which upon doing everything up until this point, I got a total of 2 gold, 10 silver, and 59 copper. But now it's time to do a traditional lap around the entire map and gather every harvesting node that I can find. And I'm actually very excited for this map because throughout Guild Wars 2's history, Sparkfly Fen has been one of the most popular maps to gather in, and I have personally spent quite a bit of time gathering nodes in this map just to help pad my own gold stores. But through this series, I've done a lot of gathering node harvesting, and I am excited to see how this map specifically will stack up against the others I've done so far. As far as nodes in this map goes, we can find a ton of platinum ore as well as hardwood around the map, where these are some of the best ore and lumber nodes in the game, and there shouldn't be any other nodes of any type in the map taken away from these nodes. On top of them, there are a variety of plants in the form of blackberries, coral, leeks, portobello mushrooms, variegated taproots, verdant herbs, and a cauliflower node farm. As always, I went across the entire map and tried my best to get every single node that was available in this run through. It took me a total of 34 minutes to go across the entire map and collect everything that I could find, which is a pretty good time in comparison to other maps. And my general experience was very positive as this map is pretty easy to navigate and it is not too annoying to get most of the nodes. and I did indeed find a ton of nodes and get a lot of materials. The highlights are 141 platinum ore for around 2 gold and 25 silver, 100 hardwood logs for 1 gold and 52 silver, 8 tarragon leaves for around 9 silver, 12 carrots for around 8 silver, 14 vanilla beans for around 21 silver, 7 blackberries for about 7 silver, and 13 heads of cauliflower, which is essentially worthless. Although everything sold adds up to a total of 4 gold, 29 silver, and 90 copper, which is roughly equal to 7 gold and 58 silver an hour. An incredible amount of gold for a pretty easy and simple run through of a map that you can do to its maximum potential once a day, and a bit more limited as it resets or with different map instances. I would definitely recommend specifically focusing on ore nodes and lumber nodes since they were the bulk of the money. Sparkfly Fen is definitely an amazing map when it comes to gathering, and it is very special in that way amongst other maps when it comes to making gold. But beyond that, there really isn't all that much going on in this map that I could find myself or through some research. I didn't even have too many ideas for stuff that could potentially be good, but I thought probably wasn't that I could try out for the heck of it. But there are 2 things, one incredibly big thing and one much smaller thing. As for the incredibly big thing, this is the part that everybody has been waiting for. Sparkfly Fen features one of the most popular daily gold farms in the entire game, the massive world boss known as Tequatl the Sunless. This is the most played world boss in the entire game, and probably the most played event in the entire game. So many people, especially during reset, will come and fight Tequatl. This is a pretty cool boss with so many interesting visual elements, different mechanics, and an important loot table that has cemented itself as one of the most iconic parts of Guild Wars 2. Almost everybody who has ever played Guild Wars 2 has done this boss, and a very large percentage of people have done this boss many times. Maybe too many times. And people do it for good reason. You have a chance to get a Tequatl tailpiece decoration, Wings of the Sunless, which is a cool cosmetic, a mini Tequatl the Sunless, which is a cheap mini, but then also dragon chests. There are multiple different chests that all give some money, karma, and materials, but the big one will give you 1 gold straight up, just added directly to your wallet, alongside some unidentified gear that can be sold for even more gold. There's also a chance to get a Tequatl's Horde drop that will net you another gold piece, but also a chance for a very rare special ascended weapon that you can't sell but are highly coveted and can be great to unlock for your account. You then have the bigger dragon chest, which grants you an additional 1 gold straight up on top of a bunch of other stuff. On top of all of this, there are a few other drops and whatnot that just add up, both a few silver each all the way to a few drops that are worth a couple of gold. Maybe the most popular item here is the spoon you get, which is worth 10 silver. So of course I have to fight Tequatl and see what I can get. The fight is pretty simple to get in and participate in, as you can just AFK at the start if you get here a little early, or you can join in late and probably find a group since so many people do this boss. Starting from the time the boss spawned until when the boss died, it took the particular map that I was on a total of 10 minutes to kill Tequatl, and I got a decent amount of loot. Selling everything and returning to a trading post, I can pick up the gold I got equal to 1 gold, 68 silver, and 10 copper, which when you add the 10 silver from the spoon and the 2 gold you get as a liquid reward is a grand total of 3 gold, 78 silver, and 10 copper for this pretty short world boss, roughly equal to 22 gold and 68 silver per hour, but of course you can only do this once a day. So, Tequatl is a great source of gold, and resource gathering is also a good source of gold. So I suppose a way to optimize the amount of gold you get from Sparkfly Fen is to show up to the map 30 to 40 minutes before Tequatl starts and join an instance that is doing that world boss. Then roam around the map and gather every resource node, and then do Tequatl and get your daily reward there. And with any downtime between you finishing gathering nodes and before killing Tequatl, you could kill some Moa around the map for some slabs of poultry meat. Beyond all of that, I want to take a look at one small potential farm that might be worth a little bit of gold. And it is kind of a similar idea to what we just did, killing the risen undead around the map. I noticed that they seem to have a somewhat decent loot table, and they are also located in so many different parts of the map, in such large numbers, and as a part of many different events, so I thought I would try it out and run around the map for 30 minutes, killing as many risen as I could, and see what I get. And let me just say, this was not great. There weren't as many risen as I thought there were, and most of the risen were brutes, which are just a bit tankier compared to other types of risen. Additionally, many of the areas that there are risen in will not have any risen spawning if you complete certain events, within each respective area, which makes everything a bit more challenging. I got 9 medium moldy bags, selling for about 24 silver, 2 moldy sacks, selling for about 7 silver, and 5 piles of luminous dust, selling for about 54 silver. And adding up all the other random little things I got brings the total to 1 gold, 33 silver, and 77 copper, or about 2 gold and 67 silver per hour. Definitely pretty bad, especially in comparison to the big things we explored in this map. Which is just unfortunate, but despite not getting a lot of gold from this, it is still fun to explore the map and try out new things. Where Sparkfly Fen just has a couple of phenomenal things, and then not a lot else going on, which is very interesting to see. But I'll continue doing some random stuff to make some gold, and just work my way to 50 total gold earned, which upon returning to the trading post once again after a long while farming, I can get the last bit of gold that I need to reach my goal. To check the stats really quickly, we have now earned 550 gold in this series. We have played for a little under 93 hours and have died 34 times. We are also now mastery level 11. But now it is time for the next map. We still have many maps available to be unlocked that we have been rolling for, but we now have 2 new additions with Mount Maelstrom and Straits of Devastation. Out of everything, I think Straits of Devastation is the map I want the most for a few very specific things, but ultimately all of them will be enjoyable to play through. And, as always, where we go depends on what the wheel picks. And just barely missing out on the Straits of Devastation and heading to the Dredgeon Cliffs is what we are doing. This is an interesting map that I have some somewhat strong opinions about that I am excited to talk about in the next episode. And I am definitely excited to go make some more gold. See you then.